Welcome everyone, I'm Quinn Boulay, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make a crystal elixir, also called the gem elixir. So I'll use those terms interchangeably throughout the video. And without getting into the deep science of it all, I'll keep it short as not to put you to sleep. A crystal elixir it's a really simple method. We're using an indirect method, and we're placing the crystals in water, and then we're using the sun to infuse the crystals, and we preserve it with alcohol. And through that infusion process, the water attunes with the specific vibrations of the crystals that we've used. And then we take that elixir internally to receive those therapeutic benefits. Now you can make your elixir with just one crystal, or you can make it with a combination for a specific benefit. Today we're going to be using 4 of them. Also, let me say, so I don't get in trouble, that these are not intended to cure, diagnose, or treat disease. Please seek medical attention for medical issues. I am not a doctor, and these are not approved by the FDA. Okay, done. Okay, so let's talk about what you're going to need to make your gem elixir before we get started. You're going to need distilled or spring water. I've got about 4 cups here. You're going to need some vodka. This is your preservative because we're going to be having this around more than a day or two. Just if alcohol is just not an option for you, go with apple cider vinegar. You are going to need 2 glass containers, one able to fit inside the other. They're both going to need covers. Your bigger one, the cover doesn't need to be secure, it just needs to make sure that nothing can fall into your water. The cover on your smaller one needs to be secure. You don't want water to leak into here, okay? And I prefer to use glass, okay? And not plastic, because plastic can leach into your water, and we don't want that because we're placing it in the sun, which would make it leach even more with harmful chemicals and stuff. So stick with the glass. You'll need some bottles for after when we bottle our elixir up once we make our mixture. And you're going to need your crystals. So today I am making an anti-anxiety one elixir. So I have some blue lace agate, a lithium quartz, a smoky quartz, and a lepidolite. So I have those 4 stones here, and you're going to want to make sure your stones are already cleansed and cleared and charged. If they are not, that's okay. You can do it at the time. So if you haven't cleansed and cleared them, you can go ahead and do that first with some sacred smoke, or whatever method. There's a bunch of different methods to cleanse your stones. I'm just doing this one because it's just easiest here. I actually have a very elaborate stone cleansing that I do with my stones that I've already actually done with these, but I'm gonna do some more to show you guys. But I give my crystals spa days, and maybe sometime I'll tell you about their extensive spa day experience. But it includes a lot. It includes sun baths and salt and sound baths and smoke and a whole long ritual. So this is pretty much what you're gonna need, and let's get started. So to begin, I always say when I'm getting any kind of work like this, to begin with just taking a few slow, deep breaths and really coming into the moment and being present with where you are and what's in front of you. Letting go of the worries or any other thoughts about the day, and just being right here and feeling the sacred and specialness of this moment that you are in. And usually a couple breaths will do that for me. So go ahead and just take a few chill breaths. And then how we're going to begin is I'm gonna pretend like my crystals aren't cleansed, but I'm gonna show you how you can cleanse them. And so this is just a piece of charcoal that's lit, self-lighting charcoal that I just took a flame to, in a heat-proof dish with sand. And then I just have some sacred smoke. And then you just want to take each of your crystals and run it through the smoke. And while I do this, I do like to be silent and have an intention in my mind that they be cleared. And just focus my intention on that purpose and intent. And you're just going to do that with each stone. Again, if you have a method and way that you like to cleanse your stones, then you go ahead and do it that way. There's, no right or wrong way. It is completely specific to you and what your intuition tells you. Okay. So I'm just going to set this out of the way because it's going to keep smoking. You can do this step actually before you place them in, or you can place them in and hold it. I'm actually going to place the crystals in my hand, and then what I like to do is I like to kind of sandwich them, and then I'm just going to take several moments and actually infuse these crystals with my intention. I'm going to ask them to participate and lend their energy to making this crystal elixir for anti-anxiety. And you can say it aloud or in your mind, but just go ahead and have a conversation with them, and be gracious and connect with them. Okay, so now that I've spent a few moments with these lovelies, I'm going to place them inside the smaller jar. So I've got my smaller jar, and I'm going to gently place them in there, and then I'm going to securely put the cap on. Okay. Then I'm going to take the bigger jar. So here we've got our bigger jar, and I am going to pour my distilled water inside of it, like so. And I'm gonna pop these beauties in there, and voila. I mean, it doesn't get easier than this. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna place this in some direct sunlight. And there are different methods about how long you wanna leave it out there. I like to leave mine out there for 8 hours, and then I bring it in to rest, and then I actually do it again the next day for another 8 hours, and then let it rest. Also, one thing I want to mention, this method that we're doing with the crystals like this in a jar, now you can put crystals directly in the water, some of them. Some cannot go directly in the water because for a couple of reasons. One, the water will break down the crystalline structure and ruin your crystal. And two, some crystals contain toxic elements in them. So like asbestos or, things like that. So things that you don't want into your water. We just want their vibrational properties. We don't want the actual minerals that are in them. And glass doesn't stop that. Okay, so that's why this is called the indirect method. So, but if you have a crystal like quartz is hard and doesn't have anything, you could actually soak it directly in. But for me unless you're a gemologist or you're very confident in understanding what minerals are contained within each crystal, I would suggest sticking with this indirect method. So, that's just a little side note. So I'm gonna go bring this outside, and I'll see you in a few, and I'm gonna give it an optional sound bath. Okay. I'm back with my finished water that has sat in the sun now for 2 days, 8 hours each. You're going to remove your crystals from it, and this water left in here is your gem essence, which we're going to mix with the vodka to make your gem elixir. So a good rule of thumb is 60-40. So 60% This 40% alcohol. Okay. So I'm just pouring it in, and now the two are mixed in my nice glass container. And I'm just gonna take, again, this sterilized metal whisk, and I'm just gonna whisk them together. And there you have it. So now what I like to do is I'm gonna put some actually back into my measuring cup, and then I'm gonna pour it into these little glass bottles that have droppers. And I've got a little funnel on top, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill up some of these. So now that you have it, how do you take it? So it depends on the elixir, but a general rule of thumb is you want to take 5 to 7 drops underneath your tongue, holding it there for a few seconds, and then swallowing about 2 to 3 times a day. If I'm having anxiety or panic attack, I take it every 20 minutes until it subsides, about 5 drops underneath my tongue, and then I combine that with some good deep breaths, and it has been very effective for me. But when I have them all made, I actually do Reiki with them. If you're not a Reiki practitioner, that's totally fine. It still is effective. I like to hold them and send Reiki into them. You know, if you're not a Reiki practitioner, it doesn't mean that you can't still hold it in your hands and say a prayer or infuse it with love and kindness. You can still absolutely do that. You have that ability, and you don't need a Reiki certificate to do that. So, all right, here's my finished product with my label and everything. Hey guys, I want to thank you for being here with me, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you found some value in it. If you decide making these is just not your thing, but would like to try them, you can check out my shop at quinboule.com or on Etsy. Links are down below, and I hope that I can get on here and make another video soon. So drop me a comment, like this video, subscribe, all of the above if you dig. Have a good one. Lots of love.